Welcome to Color Me Mondays.
Till Death Do We Part, Inseparable, by Millie J.
Chapter 1, March 21st, 2012. Mark reached out and took hold of Samantha's hand, pulling it onto his thigh. She felt the tense muscles flex beneath her palm and quickly withdrew her hand. "Stop," while gently tapping his fingers. "I'm trying," he murmured. "Stop making me touch you." "How is that?" she whispered back. "All this sexual tension," he breathed, running his fingers slowly down her back. Samantha's hands wandered in response, trailing along the length of him. Mark almost toppled out of his seat, and she laughed quietly. "That makes it worse," he whispered in her ear. "You know you're going to pay for that," he teased. "Mm-hmm," she replied with a sly smile, grateful they were seated in the back where no one could hear them. They were at their annual new doctors' meeting, but the attraction between them was undeniable.
Mark placed her left leg on his lap, his fingers tracing teasing circles across her skin. She shifted away before he could make her squeal, but he shifted her back, pressing her face into his shoulder and rubbing harder this time. She bit him to keep from moaning aloud. "Damn, babe," he whispered. "Sorry," she murmured, breathless. "You shouldn't tease me like that," he said, and she couldn't help but smile back. The announcer's voice interrupted. Anesthesiologist Dr. White and OBGYN Dr. Kinsley will now speak. Samantha straightened their collars as they stood. Mark smiled widely. "Good," she said, checking his teeth. Mark stood beside her, his hand resting possessively on his waist. He began discussing the hospital's do's and don'ts. Samantha looked up at his face as he spoke, noticing how his jaw flexed with every word.
Orlando watched silently from the crowd, thinking, Jay has changed so much. The once wild and reckless man now seemed like a completely different person, yet the same essence remained beneath the surface. To the unfamiliar eye, Jay appeared relaxed, but Orlando noticed the subtle tension in his jaw and the way his eyes scanned the room constantly. Even the gesture of wrapping his arm around Samantha spoke volumes. This must be her, Orlando thought. The woman Jay always mentioned, but never named. Jay caught Orlando's hostile glance and shifted his eyes to Samantha instead. "Hello, I'm Dr. Samantha Kinsley," she greeted, locking eyes with Orlando.
After Mark's speech, Samantha took over, discussing the interactions between the OBGYN department and the ER, as well as the new schedules. She scanned the room, taking note of the mix of new doctors. One stood out, a tall, well-tanned Hispanic man with hazel eyes that seemed to say, "Look at me." She noticed him watching her as she stumbled through her speech. Mark tightened his arm around her waist subtly, steadying her. When she finished, Mark took over, announcing an upcoming meet and greet near the exit where new doctors would be assigned their residence. "I'm Dr. Kinsley, and this is Dr. White," she introduced as they called names and matched the new doctors with their departments. Most female doctors were assigned to pediatrics, but Samantha took on 2 OBGYN doctors. Ashley Jackson, a stylish African-American woman with long black hair and heels, and Amy Vang, an Asian doctor with short hair and a casual gray vest. Among the men was the hazel-eyed newcomer, standing a few rows back. When he approached them, he greeted them with a smile and shook Samantha's hand. Mark reached out to shake, but the man pulled back. "What's your name?" Mark asked directly. "Jose Orlando Alonso," he replied, OBGYN. Mark informed him that Samantha would be his resident.